Blog Talk Radio.
It's not the same, baby. You fell in love again with my best friend. I only slept with her because you didn't show up to my romantic overture. But I really do love you.
Welcome to Take Two Radio. We are pleased to bring you interviews with people in the entertainment and music industry, discussions and recaps of the 4 remaining daytime soaps. That's The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives, as well as various other shows. For upcoming and previous shows, check take2radio.com. That's with the number 2. And you can find us on Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and other streaming apps. Follow us on social media at Take Two Radio, and thanks for listening.
Hey, good evening, everyone. This is David from Take Two Radio, Soaps and Review, and I'm here with Anthony, Candice, Carolyn, and Will, and we're welcoming back a very generous guest and very talented, Emmy award-winning actor-producer, and now he's reprising his role as Craig Wesley on Days of Our Lives. Let's welcome
Kevin Spirtas.
Kevin Spirtas, give me a chance.
Hey, Kevin, before we get to the questions...
Sorry. Hi, guys.
Hey.
How are you?
Before we get to the questions, will you help us celebrate something really, really awesome?
Okay, sure, why not?
It is the birthday of one of our commentators who happens to be a soap star herself, Miss Candice. I have prepared all day for this. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Cumpleaños feliz. Kevin, take it away.
Happy birthday to you and many more.
What a good boy. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
My God. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, guys.
You're very welcome.
Love
Happy
you, girl.
birthday.
You know that.
Oh, it's so much.
Y'all need to see me. I'm like blushing over here. I'm like, okay, like.
Girl, if this was
Kevin,
I would have convinced him to take your shirt off for you, but, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. We're all talking now. Wait.
Okay.
One at a time.
Yeah, I heard my part, but I also heard X and Kevin, but I just would like to say this. I'm glad to circle the earth for another year. Like I said before the show, not a lot of people was able to. And I think, people still should celebrate life and, understand that, every new year brings new promise, new hope, and new opportunities. So, again, I'm now 40. I'm happy with that. I'm glad. It's
baby.
Back to 40, baby.
Let me tell you. Let Grandpa over here tell you something.
Okay.
It gets better. It just
It sure does.
It really does.
Yeah, so. And it gets better starting now because I'm talking to Kevin again. So,
There you go.
Yeah. There you are.
That's right. It's the ultimate best and better.
There you go.
It is.
So congratulations.
Kevin,
happy birthday.
Yes,
sir.
Thank
happy
you.
birthday, Candice.
Thank you.
Kevin, it is a pleasure to have you back again. You are probably, like I said, one of our most generous guests.
Oh, absolutely.
And we love having you every time.
No, I love being had. That was a joke. But it was.
Let's call that a triple.
It was meant with love, and it was meant with absolute truth. You guys are so supportive of, well, not just me, but everybody. So it's great. Thank you.
Great. So I'm going to start you off with some thought-provoking questions.
Okay.
You ready for part
if
one?
You hear a crunch yes, if you hear a little crunch here and there, it's because I have not eaten all day. The dog is barking outside. It's not my dog, so apologize for that, folks. And go.
Okay. Here we go. What advice would today's Craig Wesley give to the past Craig Wesley?
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Well, this is a very interesting question, and I think it has several parts to it because, excuse me, for me, going back to days of our lives right now, as a gay man stepping into a gay role, and gay man is just a label. It's silly. We're all humans. But there's a line that Craig says in his, I think he says it today, actually. I think he got it. Did you see the show today yet?
Yes, I did.
Did Johnny DeMiro run around with his shirt off or something?
Yes.
That's about all I saw today. But
I think Chloe comes up to and says something to Craig like, "What are you doing?" And he basically says, I am not going to apologize for my truth anymore. Something to that effect. I can't remember the lines. They were so long ago, but I remember standing in that, like, you know what? You may not get it, and the person next to you may not get it, and no one else may get it, but I get it. And the sooner one person can step into their own truth and accept themselves for who they are, the easier it will be. And there's a couple of scenes. I'm choking. Hold on one second here. There's a couple of scenes that were with Nancy, where he admits to. I think she says something about. This is the longest answer. She says something about. So it was all. You didn't know these feelings, and he goes, I didn't have any idea who I was at that time, and I think back in the day, especially for me growing up, it was not acceptable. There was so much anger and outcasts, and gay was a liability, and it was a horrible thing. So I would just say Craig today can turn back to say to Craig yesterday or Craig before, and welcome to your new life. And the sooner you embrace that, the easier it will be to breathe and to maneuver and to not only love others, but to love yourself.
That's
Here.
Yep.
That is beautiful. And there's an important part of that. The sooner you can grieve.
Sooner you what? I didn't hear that.
The most important part of that piece was the sooner you can grieve.
Oh, I was saying breathe. That's what that.
Oh, breathe.
Yes, you are going to breathe. Yeah, breathe. I think we hold our breath, and we don't live our life fully because we're so afraid that if we take the wrong step or we say the wrong word or we dip the wrong way, you're not in alignment. Now, there is a grief that I'm sure accompanies that. Craig says to Nancy, we had however many years, we have 2 beautiful children. She says, do not tell me what we have, But I think also in Craig's younger self-defense, he was just as lost as the next person, and he didn't want to deal with this at a certain time of his life. And listen, Nancy had a baby without telling Craig, come on.
True.
And then he finds out, come on. There's been some things done unto each other, but there's nothing. I have to play it like this. I have to play that there's nothing but love toward the woman who has stood by him the whole time, and good times and bum times. They made it through, and something happened halfway through the story of his life, and all of a sudden there's a change, and there's a new feeling bubbling up, and I think that's it's not rare, it's not uncommon.
Nope.
I know several people who've gone through this situation, and I'm more than ever to them so excited and proud that they found their truth and they found their path, and that they're going to celebrate who they really are for the first time. But there is an allowance that needs to be made to the person you've spent this life with, because now you've got to dismantle that, and that's the tricky part. That's the real hard part, I think, for this relationship to happen.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks
one.
for
You ready for
question.
part two?
Sure, why not?
This is going to take in another direction. So, if you were in casting at Days of Our Lives, what actress would you like to see play Craig and Nancy's daughter, Joy?
Woohoo!
I can't even begin to answer that, only because I don't know who Joy is now. I mean, we didn't know who Craig was until Craig is come back into the canvas, right? So, I mean, how old is Joy going to be? Is she coming back? Are they talking about bringing her back? I have no idea.
We're hoping. I heard Patricia say in her role that Joy was in grad school.
Yeah, I mean, I think to not leave out or discount story points. There's things that have been said. I'm not sure what is absolutely the correct bio of these people, but I think that there is any actress who can walk and talk and cry. That would be the actress for me.
There you go.
And they gotta look like Nadia Bjorlin. Come on, there's our daughter.
Well, geez,
the beautiful.
I don't. Is that possible? I wonder.
Yeah, it's true.
That's true, isn't it? Oh, thank you, Kevin, for your questions. Will, you ready?
Yes. Hello. Hi, hola, Kevin. How
Hello.
are you today? Hi,
Good.
I'm Willy. I'm Party Will. It's an honor to have you here with everyone, and I'm the newbie, so here we go. Okay.
Okay, newbie,
number
let's
one.
do it.
Where do you see yourself in 2 years?
Oh, gosh, Maui.
Oh,
no,
I love that. I love that. Okay.
No,
okay.
I say Maui because it's one of my favorite places on this planet, and because of COVID, of course, there hasn't been traveling for me anyway. I have threatened that I need a break and I need a vacation. So I'm being hopeful in the sense that at some point within the next 2 years, I can at least take a vacation there. I don't know. I would like to be at a place where I can reap the benefits of the work I have invested in so far in my life and my career. But with After Forever and Michael having passed away last year, my collaborator, there's a lot more I had to take on, and I am determined and committed to seeing this show film its final season that we wrote together at the end of April and beginning of May. And then also I'd like to find distribution for it in a way that it can be celebrated all over the world. That's where I'd like to see myself in 2 years creatively and production-wise. And I'm just still growing myself and, climbing out of this pandemic like everybody else. I'm trying to get out of it better than I came into it. And and better, just take care of my health in all areas. That's, to be spiritually and to be mentally and physically aligned and open to the next possibility. We don't have 2 years from now. We have right now. That's what it is. The birthday girl knows that. And we all know that.
Preach it.
I love it. I love it.
Preach. And that's
okay.
And I'd like to see Dr. Craig Wesley come back as a preacher. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Well, I love you with Craig on the show. It's great having you back. Here's my second question.
Thank you.
Do you have any passion projects that you are working on or that you could tease?
Besides After Forever?
Right now, yeah. It's there's a couple of things I'm spitting, but they're in such baby stages. It's not even worth. After Forever has taken up the front seat and the front burner and the back seat and the back burner and the sidecar and the caboose and everything else. There's just a lot to do, and this year, because of COVID,
all right,
there's so much more that has to go into the prep and the preparation for getting the show done safely. Michael's not around in person to go, wait, we need to redo that line there and make sure that, so the scripts were written by he and I. They're ready to go. I'd like to keep his memory alive and to keep his legacy front and center and what we've done together. That's very important to me. And so that's the pet project right now, really.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
thank you, newbie.
Candice?
Yes. Okay, Kevin. So I have 2 questions for you. But first, before I even go with the questions, I wanted to congratulate you as well as Michael on your recent Best Writing for a Drama Series at the Academy of West Television Awards.
Yeah.
I was happy when I saw. I was like, yes! And I had to immediately tweet you guys and say congratulations because it's an amazing show, and I cannot wait for the next season. And I'm going to celebrate. Let me know.
Let's celebrate it.
Let's celebrate it. I'll have the wine. I'll have the fruit, the cheese, and everything else in between. I will do it. So I wanted to say that. Like, have an event in New York.
Thank you.
What? I said have an event in New York, like a viewing party or something.
Well, I'm sure there will be I'm sure there will be screenings. We'll figure it out. Let's get the third season filmed first. Let's get it filmed first.
Yeah, and I'm pushing for a Florida event as well. Carolyn and I can debate back and forth where it's going to be Miami or Tampa, but we need one up in the Handle State.
Okay, I hear.
Yeah, I can see this. I can see when the season is filmed and it's the screening. It could be New York, Florida. It could be like Santa Barbara, California. Global.
Well,
I see it now.
How about this? Where do you see yourself in 2 years at the end of this so we can do the screening there? But I will be 42. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at it because I'm just like everybody else. I miss traveling. I miss going away. I'm just like I miss it so much. But safety first, and hopefully this too shall pass, and we can get back to quote unquote normal, whatever the new normal may be. Because but. Amen.
That's another topic for another day. Anyway, so my question is, if you could title your biography, right? What title would you pick and why? What would the title of your bio be?
Oh, that's good, Candice.
Come up with something.
Yeah, I wish you would have given me these questions before. Gosh, these are good questions.
We like to pick our guests' brains.
Well, no, I don't disagree. I think I don't want to give it a quick. Standing straight does not necessarily mean you're standing tall. Something about that. I think there's something to do with full circle, something to do with the breathing that we talked about. Just before the interview, I just read that Sally Kellerman passed away.
I heard about that.
Actress. Yeah. And I just, I'm just sort of like, oh, and I worked with her in several different benefits, and I just thought she was such a wildly interesting person. And how do you even get her bio out there? What would it be? But I just I'm touched by the question because it makes you step up. It makes you it requires you to drop the shit around you.
It's okay.
There's too much going on. No, there's too much going on in our planet, in our world, and we are we're going to suffer, folks, if we do not. I mean, look at Ukraine. Look at what I mean. You can't stop this train right now, and you've got to be able to breathe through it. And so I think just fighting the acceptance of who I was for so long, being straight versus gay or passing and all that stuff. Someone just the other day just said, "Oh, what a waste," and I went, "I'm sorry. What's the waste?" I was like, I was so.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just joking. No, I don't take that as a joke. There's nothing I would say about you waste. It's like me saying you're a waste because you're not gay. It's and she said it in such a biting way. So anyway, I tried to heal that as it was coming at me. So that's part of the lesson, the bio, I guess. I'm thinking.
I can see that the first one that you had was a title, and I can see full circle as a chapter in the book.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're going to be my co-writer.
Throw one more chapter in there if you guys don't mind.
I'm here for you, Captain. I'm here for you. If you need a writer or somebody to look, an editor, I'm your girl.
I got it. Guys, I got to throw one more chapter in there if you don't mind. I would do anything to act, but I won't do that.
Wait, one more time. I didn't hear it.
Say it again.
I would do anything to act, but I won't do that.
Oh,
we just lost Meatloaf too.
Good.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, there could be also a chapter where it could be my days of my life. Like it could be something
the days
tied
of my life.
into the something to tie in. Well, again,
and the epilogue could be after forever. Oh my God.
Yeah, like towards the end, that could be after forever. This is what I've learned. This is who I am, and this is what I want to share with the. We just wrote your whole book. We gave you the whole outline, Kevin.
Well,
we're here for you.
I'm telling you, there is something that since Michael has passed, and as I go in to start raising money for season 3, I'm constantly conjuring up, his image, his story. I'm explaining it to people who don't really know, because I'm going to new people outside of the circle that I'm used to going to, and there's a lot to go on about, because you have to teach the people what this was and how it got to be where it is, and I do know that my journaling has been very helpful to me, because now there's a story, and I've just used this as a tease, but it's now it's after Michael. What happens after Michael? And and I don't mean it to be significant, but it's there was so much in my life that I was doing before I met Michael, and how I was running my life, and then I had to step into something, because I was when he tossed it to Michael and said, "Hey, let's do a show." No, I'm serious. Let's do this thing about gay men over 30. And he was like, "Oh, okay, he's serious." So I tossed my hat over the wall, and I had to go follow it, basically. And then there were things that Michael would point out to me about my creative process with the writing, because I'm not the wordsmith, he's the wordsmith. And he said, no, Kevin, you're a writer. So I've got to learn how to write now. After Michael, I've got to learn how to write on my own or with another person, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah. It's wonderful. How is it?
Yeah. Thank you.
And actually, my second question was about Michael. What was like something that he gave you, like a piece of advice that he gave you that still is in your heart, will always be in your heart and live on. And I think you just gave one of them, is that you're a writer. And he gave you that encouragement. He gave you that.
I have this written down here. Hold on one second. Let me find it, because this is something he said all the time. Once it became how about okay. This was from the speech that we had when we won the so the first night of the Emmys in 2019, we won 4 awards. We won Best Director was Jennifer Pepperman. Erin Cherry won Supporting Actress. I took home Actor, and we won Best Writing. And then the final night, the Sunday night, was when we took home Best Series. And it was just decided a long time prior to us getting up there that Michael would, if we went for writing, Michael was of course going to accept it. And then and I said, hey, take it home. Go do the best actor, the best series too. So this is what he said. Where is it? There is life after grief. You can honor the love you still have for the person who is gone, and still move on to have a life as you continue. I'll read it again. There is life after grief. You can honor the love you still have for the person who is gone, and still move on to have a life as you continue. And those words in that speech, I try to live by those. I try to push myself forward to get out of the malaise of profound sadness that one day you're writing, one day you're creating fiction, and the next day you're living it. It was such a, it still is in my mind. It's such a abstract time last year, or the first year, 2020, because not only was Michael sick, but we had the craziest political world going on. We had COVID. We were isolated. People were breaking up, and everything was just one of the worst times we could probably ever imagine. And here we are now moving into another area of craziness over in Russia and Ukraine. And I think that we have to get out of this better than we came into it, or we're going to be gone. We're going to be on the 6 feet under. So I try to acknowledge the grief, but then I try to separate from it.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. I mean,
who's cooking or who's doing something over there with a top? Because all I hear is this high pitched screwing into my earpiece. So I don't know who's making a drink over there or dinner, but boy,
I can honestly say it's not me.
It's not me. No.
Is it this?
You hear it? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hear it.
Oh, okay, that was me then. I apologize. I was making a cocktail to enjoy tonight.
Oh well, you have to make it before. You have to make it before and pass them out.
Yeah, I'm waiting to eat after this, so I don't even know what I'm going to eat, to be honest.
I very much apologize.
Okay.
You're okay, Anthony. Candice, was that it, Candice?
Yeah. That's it. I mean, like I said again, congratulations on the win, and I just want to thank you for being you, and continue to stay positive, because we need positivity instead of the negativity. So, thank you.
Thank you. Carolyn?
Hello, Kevin. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, Carolyn. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. This is you're doing an absolutely wonderful job to get the message out. I commend you, and I appreciate all that you're doing. You said grief. You made comments. I know. I kind of know what you're going through, and you can't, if you stay with it, you'll be swallowed up. So just have to.
Well, I think that I talk about this a lot now because I'm very clear on it, and it's this process that has made this next statement the most solid piece of evidence that which you focus upon becomes your life.
Absolutely.
Yes. That's what you focus. What you think about. That's what you speak about. That's how. That's what you. It becomes your existence, and we create every single step of our life from now to this moment, and in this moment, and anything we say, do, think, or offer is there's tonality to the words, and there's tonality to the vibration. I mean, and I think that one has to remind oneself how to speak into the positive or to the vast greatness of which we all come from, because if not, all the universe is hearing is, well, they're just complaining, so let's give them more to complain about. That's all we're going to do.
Right.
That's what it has.
And every word,
so I mean, if you're
every thought.
I believe that. Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say, I believe that we are supposed to cry. We are supposed to feel grief. We are supposed to feel loss. This is what they were embedded in us to experience this, but to wallow, to take up real estate in these areas is not always the best thing. And it doesn't mean that you don't have to ever turn away from them. And I think that's what After Forever talks about is you have a person who meant so much to you, you can't let them go. But at the same time, especially in the third season, you'll see is Brian has to learn how to integrate a healthy side of himself and a healthy side of Jason who's no longer there. So it doesn't consume him.
We're all a work in progress.
That's right, baby. We is works in progresses.
Yeah. My first question is, did you have any input on the storyline, the way it was played out? Was it your decision? Was it the writers? Did you all work together? How did it come about?
Well, Patrika didn't ever believe me when I said this, but the night we won Best Series at the Emmys, Ron Calvari came up to us and said, congratulations. He was talking to me, and Michael was sort of talking to someone else, but he said, congratulations, I really love the show. You guys did a great job. You deserve the award, and blah, blah, blah. And he left. And as he was saying this, I had this voiceless voice in my head say out loud, Craig's going to come back as gay. That was my feeling, and I'm not just saying this to say. I remember it was this voiceless voice, and I turned to Michael, and when he came back, I said, "So Ron just gave us a really great compliment. You think Craig will ever come back gay?" And he said, "You just never know." But I sort of felt
your
it.
Intuition, yeah.
I think we know everything, and when they called me up to let me know that they wanted to bring me back, and I said, and he's going to come out. And Marnie Saida said, yeah, how did you know? I said, I don't know. I just had this feeling. And I think it's good for the storyline on the level, several levels. I think it's good because real life is real life. And soap operas, with their happy endings, don't always work out. But it's also, it's truth being revealed in front of you, and I think that's a really, really interesting thing to play and to create. So I did not have any. I just remember asking Ron that no matter what we do, that we come to it from a very profound place of working it out. And you'll see how it goes. I can't say too much more about it, but there's some things that come up.
I feel, I don't know who's going to agree with me, they're doing a fabulous job, being very sensitive. We all know somebody that's gone through, whether your situation on the show where I'm divorced. I had you go through the stages, you go through, we're all, as you say, we're all human, and we've all experienced it at one time in our life, but I think they're dealing with it very, very well, and you're doing a fabulous job. And I watched today, I could see, and you can say yes or no, there's a certain amount of pain. And it must be difficult acting, doing this role. It's got to bring back some memories. Do you agree?
Yeah. Craig's coming out is much different than Kevin's coming out.
Okay.
I mean, I was not in a marriage by any sense of the word, and I rebelled against it for a very long time, my own coming out, because I just didn't see it having to be anyone's business but mine, and it still isn't anyone's business but mine, because we are all, I say this over and over, we are the same. We come from the same source. We came from the same earth. Yes. We can, it goes up and it evaporates and starts over again. I think for me, I had such a bad interpretation and idea of what gay meant growing up, and it, the liability. It was a horrible thing. It was an outcast. It was just everything that was negative came with that word, and I built up so much resistance against being in that community that it kind of stunted my growth in certain ways. And can you imagine being an actor?
Did you find it harder coming out? I'm thinking you're an actor on the show, and you're coming out on the show to like millions and millions of people.
No, I came out when I did After Forever. I mean, I was out before that. I was, but for me, it was. I mean, Michael and I even discussed it. It's not going to be a secret anymore in any way because you're going to step into this role. But for me, what I was just going to say was the stunted areas of my life were because I couldn't look at that part of myself, and I would put so much stuff in front of me as a not like a shield, but just as a almost just as a buffer. I don't want to be seen as that. So imagine being an actor myself, going into an audition and not wanting to come across light or effeminate or like a girl or gay or whatever the noise is in your head. So you then put this thing on top of that, and you walk in the door and it's, hi, how are you? And you're speaking through that whole channel, right? Mm. And then you sit down and you go to do the audition. So now you're putting that character on top of this thing that's on top of you. How do you act? And one day I just sort of like realized that. I went, oh God, this is just redonkulous. And I started to look at that. I went to therapy, and I saw that whatever the world was saying about gay meant that I was going to not be accepted, or I would be killed because you're not supposed to fit in this way. You're supposed to fit in that way. So that's what I would also go back to tell Craig, the Craig today and the Craig yesterday.
Well, it was part of my my second question to tell us how you felt, and you've. It's interesting. I'm a hairstylist. I've been a hairstylist for 62 years. So I was I worked with gays for years, from the time I was 16. And all this I can't relate to because we all had a lot of fun. They had great quality, great interior designers, great in clothes, great in makeup. And, well, you're fortunate that you have come this far. I commend you, and you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. Thank you, and I just want to say, there's a lot of people who are watching the show now, and they are, they're angry. Craig is deserting and upsetting this perfect marriage. Blah blah blah. Well, first of all, that was not a perfect marriage, and second of all, no marriage is. No marriage is.
It's a soap opera marriage. It can't be perfect.
Yeah, but what's the difference if he
well, they were. I think everyone was liking the fact that she was. No. They were all very excited that that the character was accepting of this woman who was a larger size, and it was a high school sweetheart love situation, and that is all absolutely true in the storyline.
Yeah.
Here, one day, a script comes in. I like to call these like the sunrise. There's the sunrise of the new day, and then you're now, I got to deal with this feeling. If the script wasn't there and it was real life, you'd be like, I met this person. He's making me so excited. How do I do? Okay, I got to cover this. I can't be seen. That's something that would be real. That's something that you bumped into someone at the subway. I was just talking about you. These things happen, period. I like to joke that I could have been on the moon the day that I met Michael Slade, and he would have been up there. I would have run into him.
Yeah.
So these things happen, and so you have the split camp of,
Well, it's quite an awakening. I find that's going on today, and it's this is all good, and I commend Days for bringing this on the show. I think I love Days. It's my favorite.
I think it's the end of this whole storyline, because you see stuff coming already. Some of the people involved now. There's an opportunity for everyone to witness and to see just how much love Craig gets to experience. And he gets to really look at Nancy, and he gets to really take it in with Chloe, which I think is really beautifully done. I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the work so far, and I didn't know it was all going to run together so nicely. With COVID having been the way it is, keeping in and out, people from going in and out of that studio.
Are you ready? Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Anthony.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Carolyn.
Hey, Kevin, it's Anthony. Pride Connection.
Hi, Anthony.
I'm sure you remember.
I know you. I know our Anthony.
Yeah, you've got a couple more minutes for us, right? Because I've got a couple of questions for you. All right, so just from a absolutely purely soap fan perspective, I have to root for the fact that that Craig will meet and come across Leo, a.k.a. Greg Reichert. I just have to see those interactions. And Ron, if you're listening and it hasn't been scripted yet, and I know Ron personally as well, Ron, if you're listening and it hasn't been scripted yet, Craig and Leo absolutely have to interact with each other. They have to. But you touched on my first question, and I have three for you. You touched on my first question already, but I want to throw it back to you again. Other soaps have done the storyline, most notably The Young and the Restless with Tracy and Brad Carlton. One Life to Live with Marcy and Al. But the most real, the most in-depth storyline that we've ever gotten of a really, forgive me, you're hot. It is what it is. You were hot then. You're hot now. Of a hot guy loving and really loving a bigger woman came with Craig and Nancy. So you touched on already that there's anger. And I think to a certain extent, and I'm a gay man, our listeners know this, but I'm going to say it again. I'm a gay man. I think that there's a justification in the anger that some folks have because that storyline was so integral at the time. It made people talk. It made people think out of their normal boxes. So what do you say to the fans out there about that period and where Craig is now? You know what I mean? I know.
I think you have to look at it in. I hear what you're saying, and you have to look at it as if this was real life, because they're not just writing stuff to. People might say, "Oh, there's something coming up on days." First of all, there's spoilers every 2 seconds now. You can't watch the show without knowing spoilers the day before. So that's a big change. But I think for if you're really going to look at it, we are living our lives on a daily basis. Real people, us, not the people in Salem. We are get up, we feed the cat, we make our orange juice, we go to the store, we go to the bank, and and you meet people and you talk to them and you have a relationship with someone here, and all that stuff is happening, and something changes. That's real life. So here, on a daily basis, they are handing you a script. They are giving you a story, and nothing else exists except that which is on the page. I am sure they did not think of this 25 years ago when they said, now we're going to bring Craig on and we're going to make him gay later on. He'll come out and blah, blah, blah. If they would have done that, then I think they would have had a different storyline. I personally would have thought maybe.
Yes.
Because they might follow Craig into a dark room, like an office going, why am I feeling this? Like we're not seeing what happened with this person that he's talking about. Right? We're seeing Craig be accused of having an affair. The stuff that made Nancy come back to Chloe in Salem is because she's witnessing something funky in New York with Craig. So that's why this thing happens. Now, off camera, you're not seeing that. You're not seeing it in the story. So you have to take it for face value that this is the way the story is happening and this is how it could very easily be real life. So I guess the answer is I don't know anything until it's on the page. And then I have to make the absolute allowances or accommodations to bring those stories to life.
Okay, I want to follow up on that, and if I have to cut my third question, I absolutely will.
Go for it.
No, honestly, and that answer was absolutely beautiful. And as a gay man, I looked in the mirror one day when I still had sight, but I looked in the mirror one day and I said, "Oh no, I'm not going to live this life, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do." And then the mirror kind of talked back to me and said, "Oh no, you're not. You are who you are. You're going to be whoever you're going to be." So having said that,
that's a very smart mirror.
Yeah, it was a very, very smart mirror. Absolutely. I was at Hofstra University in Long Island. It was probably a very, very advanced, educated, and very forgiving mind that created that, because I couldn't do that at that time. That's the beautiful thing. Everybody's journey is their journey. We can't judge and hold people accountable for what they don't know or they don't know how to feel. Absolutely.
Well, listen, I think the moment someone says, "I don't know," is the time in which the equation. If I say to you, "What's 2 + 2?" You say 4. But if I say, what's the answer to 3 divided by square root of 17 times pi 0.5 decimal equals? As soon as I say equals, the answer exists, but the time in which you may have to work it out has to be taken until you get to it. So, so again, the journeys are very clear. They're all different, but how many people don't start doing the work? How many people? So Craig is probably something physically and physiologically is changed within him, and he's probably fought this in a private area because he's not on camera seeing this happen. This is how I have to look at it if I'm going to take it face value. And that's how people are, because the soap world, they're like, that's not what I want you to do. This is how they should do it. You know, they're telling the story on their own in the TV room, watching the TV or the computer, whatever they're watching. Just saying.
I'm a huge advocate. I'm constantly telling folks, listen, if you're going to accept, multiple people coming back from the dead, if you're going to accept this, if you're going to accept that, then you need to be willing to accept.
If you're going to accept the devil possessing people,
yes, then you need to accept that this is Craig's journey. Absolutely.
Yeah.
To the fans out there that they lived and died by the Nancy and Craig. That it gave them everything. And again, I'm not trying to hit on you. I've got my partner, and we're very, very happy. But the hot guy loved this woman, loved her for who she is, loved her. Me personally, the way I'm interpreting it is, she was his best friend. He loved her. He loved her. And does love her. He loves her till the end of the earth. He'll die for her. But now it's not the romantic love that he thought it was, because these other parts of him are coming out. But to the fans that lived and died by the fact that a guy like Craig, who was beautiful, could see something beautiful in Patrika, a.k.a. Nancy, talk to them just a little bit to buffer the fact that they're hurting on this because they've lived their whole lives thinking, okay, this hot guy loved Nancy, and now, it was all a lie, he's gay.
Well, again, I think you have to I had a great aunt named Edna. Oh, she talked like this. She was my favorite aunt. I really loved her. That's my Aunt Eddie. And she had 3 children, and very shortly after the baby was born, the last baby, her husband died suddenly. And this is back in my dad's generation, my grandmother's generation. So people's health was not the best at that time. It was a different world. And she never remarried. She never went out on a date again. She focused on work for her kids and her providing for her family. She lived very, very small, like very, very no frills.
Very
focused. I remember when, because she would not allow herself to. I think she was probably a woman who thought, if I am seen going out with another man, that means I didn't have love for my husband who just died. That's one of those things. And you just didn't do that. It was of the time. So now, I remember sitting with her one day. There's a lot of parts of the story, but this is a good one. I was talking to her and a couple of friends, relatives, at a dinner table about Terms of Endearment, the movie. The table was by far loving that this movie had won all these Academy Awards, and Shirley MacLaine, and the story, and the overcoming the death of the daughter, blah, 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 blah. And Anthony says, I just don't believe that story. That's not real life. And we all just stopped in our tracks and went, excuse me? This woman who lost her husband like that was not even able to see that this movie was reflecting something about her. So people don't want to see. People don't want to do the work of the equation. This is So I say to the fans, again, I had no intention of going against anything that was being written, even back in the day. I know Patricia would once in a while throw a fit going, last time our fans saw us that we were doing this, this, and this. And I'd say the rest of it happened off camera. Continue on with the scene, please. We had to find our rhythm.
Yes.
But she said, what about? I said, that's not our job to worry about what about. We would laugh at that. But I think this is some of the greatest work Patrica's ever done.
Yeah.
And I think that as much as her character has to show her hurt, my character has to withhold the hurt. Because anything I do, I know I'm going to. I mean, those scenes where he comes out to her, I think the last thing he wants to do is to actually admit this, because if he does, it means it's going to hurt her. It's going to hurt him. It's going to hurt exactly. And I think that just is too much for people to handle.
You've done a beautiful job of explaining this, and I will tell you this. I am going to share our episode tonight as far and wide as I possibly can, because I really do believe that people need to understand that it's not a linear process, and it's not the same process for any one of us that go through it. And those of us that do it at 19, 29, 39, 79, it is what it is, and we have to love and accept. All right. My question, too, goes back to Ever for After, and I want you to plug Riley's, and
wait.
I want you to plug...
Back to what?
It goes back to Ever for After. After Forever,
After
excuse
Forever.
me. Yeah, After Forever. Sorry.
Oh, my.
Okay.
I guess you can tell that I've actually had a couple of sips of that cocktail.
The cocktail is kicking in.
I'm so sorry that it was distracting you. I will be more aware of that in podcasts in the future. But so we have Riley's, which bridges, what will be season 3 with season 2 to a certain extent, but it's also a love letter. So since it's been out there for, almost a year now, and, you're ramping up at season 3, what...
Wait, you're saying that Riley's Unforgettable School Project was...
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So
I'm saying
really
that
a standalone.
It's a standalone, but it's a standalone. But for those of us that are so invested in the show and are waiting anxiously for season 3, it's it's a crumb. It's I'm not going to go into as the Sex and the City reboot, et cetera, but it's something that we're hanging on to. But it's also, and I don't think, and we did have conversations on Pride Connection, and I will throw in the show notes how they can go hear those. It's a love letter to Michael in a way. And I wanted you to point folks to Riley's in case they haven't experienced it. But I also wanted you to kind of touch on how producing that, as everything that was happening with Michael at the time and post Michael, how that made you as a man, as Kevin himself, how that pushed you into the next dimension of, because season 3, when it fully is wrapped, it's going to be completely on your shoulders because you're accepting that. Some folks would have said, Michael's gone and I love him, but I'm going to go on to something else because he's not here to carry this through with me.
Well, I hear what you're saying, and I just don't think that's the way we roll. Michael and I, from the very beginning, we acknowledged that we were going to become partners 50-50. And that's just what it was about. And when Michael, so right after we launched season 1, Michael learned that he had contracted prostate cancer, a very rare form of the prostate cancer, and it had presented somewhere else. So that's how we just had to start navigating it differently. And because of the success that was starting to happen with season 1 and the reviews and the awards, the film festivals, I started to say to Michael, we should start to think about season 2 because we can do this now, and we should maybe do season 2 and 3 together so we get them filmed out of the way. It'll be cheaper. Like just get it all put in the bag, put in the can. And we had every intention to. So Michael, through his chemo, through his work, I said to him, how do you want me to help you heal? How do you want me to, because I even said to him at one point, what do you think about putting at the end of season 2, Brian gets diagnosed with cancer. And he goes, absolutely not. This is not the story we set out to write. We set out to write a love story and a healing story. I said, okay, I was just maybe offering a little, esoteric and metaphysical way to heal yourself through this character, But anyway, I didn't joke about it. It was just, that was my idea. But he shut it down very quickly. And I said, you just need to tell me how to help you help yourself, because I don't want to be the one who's going to every day say, how are you? What's going on now? Are you okay? How's the chemo? That's not how it's going to be. And we came up with a very solid way of support. And then I said, great. The rest is business as usual. And we did. We wrote the stories. He went off and wrote this both seasons. I read them back to back one night. He said there's a specific episode that you're going to knock this roof off with, and I said, yep, I know what that is, and and that was it. And then we couldn't do both seasons back to back because schedule didn't allow. So now I was not about to let the creative momentum that COVID shut down. Riley's Unforgettable School Project was a way of staying current, and of course it takes place with all the characters from After Forever. But I think it's just it was a nice way of, to do a project on the most unforgettable person you've ever met is the premise. And while Michael was winding down, I went back to New York to film my segment, my scenes in the kitchen of Brian and Jason's house because I didn't have anything here in my house that looked like Jason's wall or Brian's walls. So it was to also see Michael. I thought maybe there's a possibility I will not see him again. And that was something I just had to confront. And I think for us, we talked about that day too when I saw him. I said, so season 3, we're going to start up as soon as we get the clearance on COVID, this and that. He goes, absolutely. Like he was ready to go until he wasn't. And that's what I think the offering is for him, to carry on the legacy that we created together, to work out the completion of something. I know in my heart of hearts, I've been chomping at the bit. If I do not get season 3 up and produced, I will not be upset with Michael having died and not being able to be part of it. I will be upset with myself for not having been able to carry out the completion of the story that I think is so important, because I think season 3 is the very crux of the healing that starts for Brian. So Michael comes to me. I go to him. I have my whatever, my voiceless voice hat on. I get through it. I see him sometimes. He'll be in a dream once in a while. But he said to me very early on, we were talking about his memorial. He goes, I want Katie to sing. Katie, in case you're listening to this, I don't know if you know this yet, but Michael has requested that you sing When the Saints Come Marching In, just like you did in season 2. So that I said, can I sing something? He goes, absolutely not. You're a writer. Write it down. I said, I know I'm a writer, but I also am a singer. Nope. No. So, well, he doesn't have much say in the matter now, does he? But no, it's just, I think Michael's really, he's so present in the entire cast and in the entire, we all are kind of like untethered because how did this happen? It still kind of whacks us in the face sometimes. And you just have to breathe through it. some days are easier, some days are not.
So my third question.
I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it really does.
I want to do it. I want it to be done. I want to do it, not just for my completion.
Is there a GoFundMe or anything that those of us that are, diehard fans can do to help make it happen? That's not my third question, but I'm going to ask that anyway.
Okay, but everybody does a GoFundMe. Everybody does one for their CD, for the movie, for the this and that. So I find so many of these. I would love it if people want to send in money for a tax-deductible donation. I will put it on the website, and it's we'll make it happen. It is triple the price that it was the first year. So we're making a very, very tiny piece of film for an extraordinary amount of money, and I'm every morning I'm up at crack of dawn answering that bell. Come on, money, money, money. But I think there's for me the misconception is to do a GoFundMe or to do whatever the other social money raising things are. It's a whole other occupation. And right now, I'm just trying to memorize my lines, and I'm trying to make sure everything's in alignment for when I go to New York. So if you want to help me spearhead that, great. I'll take any extra little penny we can.
All right. We'll talk offline on that.
Now the third question.
my third and final question, and thank you for being so generous with your time, as you always are.
Oh, my gosh. I love you guys.
It's been decades, since you were in the slasher film and since you debuted as the hot Dr. Craig Wesley, and then, of course, actor forever. So the business is so completely different in so many ways, and I'm not going to digress into all the different ways. But when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community, it really is so different. And After Forever is a big piece of that. And then now to see, I'm all for the story. I'm all for Craig living his truth.
I am too, actually.
Yeah, we spoke about the love story between Nancy, and I'm all for that too, because I was part of that. I lived that with you guys. I loved Craig and Nancy's love. But I'm all for this too. David asked you if Craig could tell Craig. I'm going to ask you, what does Kevin know about himself, about life, about the business that would have helped Kevin back then navigate through? And in this sidebar piece of this is for all listening out there who love soap operas because they're afraid to come out because it gives them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When you give this answer, give it in that vein. What would Craig now – I'm sorry, what would Kevin – God forgive me. What would Kevin now – what advice would Kevin now give to Kevin back then in the realm of the LGBTQ community?
I think it's simply don't listen to the hate, because it goes into your head and then you hate yourself. So it's more about just love yourself. You're perfect the way you are. This is really what it's about. There's so much trauma around it. Still, I can feel it because the question is touching to me, and it's a beautiful question, and I think that it's deserving of a really. I might have to go journal this and come back. I don't know when. I've got so much work to do, but I think it's really about. I would put my hands on his shoulders and I would look down at him and I would say, "You are loved. You are loved, and you don't have to worry about what anybody else thinks, even your parents or the family or society. You are so loved. Now go and play and be free." Because that is the truth. Again, I was raised being told that Jewish people are the chosen people. And then I would say, but why isn't my best friend Johnny down the street chosen? He's my best friend. You know, we're in the same class together. You know, so why does something that used to be celebrated in the Roman days, you know, why is it when two women are together, it's okay. When two men are together, that's what feminine. All that noise has nothing to do with your heart, with your talent, with your creativity, with your outward love that you can give. Nothing to do with it. Just nothing. But we don't see that at that age. We just don't. And I'm sorry. You don't. So it gets better, folks. It gets better. That's what you tell younger self, whoever you are. Kathy to her younger Kathy. John to his younger John. Mary to her, you know. It gets better, and it's okay to be exactly the way you were created. Perfect.
That's
all right, so we got a crack in our ass. We're not all perfect. We got cracks in our ass this week.
So I will definitely, hit you up
I just want to thank you guys.
That was so beautiful.
I want to thank you. I have so much fun with this show. I really do, and I just I'm glad we did it. And please send me the link because I think you guys always. Now, next time we do the show, when we get After Forever done, I'm just letting you know I want questions ahead of time because they have to be. They're too profound to just throw away. You guys are great. You guys,
we like to make
our writer, we can definitely make that happen.
I was gonna say you think you know the questions, but then all of a sudden it'd be like, wait a minute, hold on. Like we're gonna send you a script of questions, and then we're gonna be like,
I'm gonna tell you
what? So I'm gonna give you something different.
You guys rose to the occasion. This is a great question.
What Candice is trying to say, Kevin, is that you're so deep that when you give an answer to the question that we're prepared to ask, it gives us 4, 5, 7 more questions because you're so deep. You go so deep into answering us.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it out. I'm just working it out. That's all I do. I don't know if it's deep. I need to take the time to work out the equation. Yeah, but it's the equation again.
By the way, the answer was 2.
And happy birthday to you, girl.
Girl. Smart.
Look,
girl.
Look, look, I'm going to be honest.
You understudied for Hugh Jackman. Sing to her. Sing to her, Kevin. Sing.
I will not. I stood by for Hugh Jackman. I did an understudy, and I will sing to her this. I wish you these wishes. Oh God, wait, now I'm on spot. I wish you these wishes. Cold drinks in your glasses, warm food in your dishes. People to nourish and cherish and love you. A lamp in the window to light your way home in the haze. I wish you the sweetest of nights and the finest of days. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna go back and raise money for After Forever. It's great to hear your voice.
No, I will hit you up offline, Kevin, because I'm gonna help you raise some of this money.
Yeah,
but you are always welcome here. Absolutely.
Yeah, always.
Yes.
I love you guys.
Not a problem.
Have a good night.
Love you too. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye, Kevin. Thanks.
Thank you.
Kevin dropped. Wasn't that great?
Oh my God.
Oh
my. I have to say, I've been doing this show for a couple of years now, and as I referenced to, Kevin has joined me on my other podcast, which is Pride Connection. We had 2 episodes with Michael as well. He really gives us his soul. He doesn't answer the questions to be, he doesn't answer as a soap star. He answers as a man. No. He answers as a human. He answers as what's in his heart. And every conversation we've had with him has been absolutely amazing. And I am so thrilled and happy that, he chose us to talk about Craig and Craig's journey. And for those fans out there, I'm a gay man, so I'm going to tell you this. It hurt me in the very beginning. I didn't want Craig to be gay. I'll be honest. Because I loved what that story told. What Tracy, the Young and the Restless. Yeah, thank you.
Tracy and Brad, Nancy, and yeah.
You know, Marcy and Al, they got there in a different way. They got there. But what we didn't see in all the other soaps, Days of Our Lives gave us. So part of me wanted to say, oh, don't make him gay. Make someone else gay. Make Xander gay because he's so damn hot. And to see him actually come out, you know, there's so many others that can go this way. Don't take this away from the story, the beautiful storyline. And yet, he's right. It doesn't happen linear. It doesn't happen the same way for all of us. I came out because I looked in the mirror and I had an experience and I said, oh, I can't go back now. I mean, I can deny, I can pretend, but I didn't want to. But the same thing, you know, Caitlin/Bruce, you know, in her early 70s, that's her truth. That's her truth. And it's just as beautiful as me doing it at 19 years old. And so I'm so thrilled that Kevin vocalized it, voiced it the way he did, because I hope that the fans out there listening understand, you know, it's not linear. We don't know. I went all the way through high school with a girlfriend for 3 years in high school, played baseball, et cetera, and the relation, so to speak, you know, the daytime love in the afternoon, it was good. And then I had an experience, and it was like, oh, my God, wait, what just happened? And little by little, I understood inside myself, but it doesn't happen that way for everyone.
No, it
and
doesn't.
Marriages and children and things happen. So, oh, my God, I'm so thrilled with tonight's conversation.
I will say that when I was watching this, and the thing is, you guys all heard me on social media and stuff about this storyline, is that I know people who are like late bloomers and find their sexuality late in life, or have had to cover it up because, and like you said, the outside world would kind of be like, oh, no. And I think because I remember when it was coming out, you know, like it was going to be Craig and Nancy, and I was like, why them? Because for a lot of people, because you said about Tracy and Brad and Al and Marcy, and I can think of Ashley and Coop on Guy and Light, but with
That's
Craig
true.
and Nancy,
yes, girl.
You know, with Craig and Nancy, it was something that you really didn't get to see much on daytime. I don't even think you see it today, is where you do have a full-figured, beautiful woman who didn't have to make herself skinny or was the best friend, you know, like the popular girl's best friend who has low insecurities about herself. And then there was the hot guy, right, who he just was like, yes, give it to me, baby. Yeah.
Because Candice, it's always that they're with that, you know, that pinchy boy look, you know, boy body girl who's mean and things, and then they see the full-figured girl who has the heart, and she's so good, and so how could he not fall in love with her?
Right,
yes.
and it gets to that point where they kind of, Days of Our Lives, I will say, did break that mold. So when this storyline happened, I felt like I was Nancy because I felt hurt. And I think one of the things that everybody says I slam on them, but I will give Days of Our Lives something because they did cause a stir between two representations. You had, you know, the LGBT community versus full-figured, you know,
the full-figured ladies.
And it was like, and it was sort of like, how can you do that pinning two important representations? Because let's be real for a second, we all watch daytime television, right? We've been watching it for a long time, okay? And there's not a lot of this representation with these two on daytime. when they ever have a four-figure person, and I'll just say it, it's usually when, like, they'll be like the life of the party, and then it's the sad after-school break special where they're like, he's going to run to her because she's skinny. Or the next such and such, she's going to start dieting. She's going to be starting to not eat. Then she's going to get weight loss treatment. Now, if it's a healthy reason why, you know, but it's usually like to get somebody. Or, you know, and it was just like, I felt stuck. I'm going to be honest, because I was like, like you said, with Craig, I was okay with, you know, them saying he was, you know, the realization and stuff. But then I was like, please do not go back in the history and say this. I was like, watch them do it. Watch them do it, because he didn't want to hurt her feelings. Because I know some people who have done that. I've known some people who have kind of, because they were afraid or because it was not accepted, that they went ahead and they did all this. And so when that scene where Nancy said we had children together, you have to think about the other side. And I think Dave did a really good job with that. And then it was that point where it's like, okay, because I know people was afraid to say stuff on social media because, like you just heard, people get judged for their opinions all the time. And it's like, to a point, you don't want to offend anybody because, look, one false word can change the whole sentence. But it's like you have to have this kind of, you know, communication where it's like, well, okay, this is my opinion. I feel as da-da-da-da-da-da without sounding like a homophobic. Or I don't want to be disrespectful to, you know, full-figure people. But, you know, like, and you have to watch yourself. So I was like, okay, Dave, you say one false move, one false word, and it changes the whole scenario. You really, but I mean, currently, right now, you still have two representations who, more so the Craig and Nancy fans, because I said this, you know, for days or lives. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real. A lot of you guys did not think that there was a loud Craig and Nancy fan base out there.
Yes, there is.
You got the Jarlanas, you got the Sid fans, you got the Sailor fans. When this story came out,
and you got the Crancys. But you know what, Candice? But you got to go one step further in this and say this, because, and I've been watching, and I'm still gonna watch, because if they misstep, there is a faction of the population out there that was waiting for Days of Our Lives to say, you know, Nancy was safe because she was the big girl. And I am so thankful that up to this point, they haven't done that. And Ron, if you're listening, make sure you don't do that.
Right.
Make sure you don't do that.
I only have one problem, though. I do have an issue. It's the in this, and I love Patricia Darbo. I've loved Patricia Darbo since she was on Growing Pains, Step by Step. She's like, I literally grew up with this woman, okay? When I saw how Nancy looked, I was like, we're not doing this.
I remember
I said, we're not doing this for the story. Like, if you know, like because when I saw Nancy, I was like, she looks like Mrs. Beasley from Family Affair. And, you know, for those who didn't get that, I'm still young, but I still know about that show. Thank you. Reruns. But I was like, wait a minute. I was like, red hair, sexy, what's going on? And I was like, if this is for the storyline, I'm going to, actually I said she looked like Mama from Mama's Family. I ain't going to lie.
My God.
I was like, but I said more so Mrs. Beasley, because I was like, I'm not used to her frumpiness, and this is not a dig at people, so people don't say, you know.
She was wild.
The way that they dressed Nancy, and I'm just like, where is the boom, 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 pow? Like, what's happening here? And then when the storyline came out, I was like, no. So I will say this. Dave caused the uproar, again, like I said, with the Cranston fans, because, again, if you didn't think there was Cranston fans out there who was on social media, all I could say was it was that Thursday, and I'm going to tell you the exact time, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitter. Cranston Nation came out and was like, we're not going to take this.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, we're not going to take this.
Yep.
And then it was like, okay, wait, because Friday they weren't on, but Monday and Tuesday they were. And the acting, I will say this, Kevin and Patricia and Nadia.
They're wonderful.
They delivered. It was spot on. Because I can see Chloe being like everybody else. This is a joke. It's what's going on here. Who is he? Like, I want some questions because as the like, you know, like, you need to tell her the truth. And I'm like,
listen, in Brooklyn we have a saying, and I can't say the first word out loud, but it's the F word. In Brooklyn we go, F out of here. And honestly, you know, Chloe, F out of what? F out of here. But they needed to play that beat.
We gotta get going. We do.
We gotta get going. All right.
This was a great experience. It was such a thrill. But I agree with all of you too, as Proud Gay Men, that it definitely took me when I did find out about what they were going to do with Nancy and with Craig. And again, I was worried that they were going to ruin it just a little bit. Nothing on Ron. It's just once you go that way and you ruin a character, it gets messed up because down in the future, the storylines, they go back to it. So thank you, Ron, for not ruining the characters. You're doing a great job. I'm enjoying the storyline, where the journey takes us. Looking forward to seeing how Craig interconnects with Leo. So the storylines are heating up.
Allegedly. We're going to say allegedly.
Okay, real quick. It is allegedly.
We have to move.
But real quick, is there anyone on this call right now that does not want to see Craig and Leo interact in some form of fashion?
You mean hashtag Cleo?
Well, are you think? I'm thinking Leo is the other man. I mean, because he is coming back. So is that how strong of a possibility do you think that is?
I mean,
I think it's about 70% possibility. I am so waiting for this.
We got Will, Sonny, and Chad involved in a storyline that I guess allegedly, but I thought it's all connecting up to Leo because isn't the cat out of the bag that he's already back?
Well, I mean, we know
haven't
Greg
seen
Rickard.
Leo yet.
Right, Greg
We
Rickard.
haven't seen Leo yet, but he's
Greg is that. But it's like the timeline. If you're a detective, right? And by the way, Law and Order, NBC. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the original.
Three hours of Law and Order on Thursday. Must see TV is back, folks. Anyway,
yes,
but that was a side promo right there. But the thing is that the way that Craig is acting like a high school, giddy, like, and everything, and I think us fans are like, wait a minute, hold up. Leo's coming back. There's no way. But then you start thinking about it, and it's like, oh, yeah, there is a possibility. I'm going to be real with you guys. I think some people said it. If it's Leo, that is going to trigger a lot. It's like, wait a minute, hold up. Does Craig know the real Leo? Is Brady going to bring up what he did with Sonny? Like, there's so many possibilities, but
there's so many. What do you think, Carolyn?
But that's the thing. Wait, hold up right there, because this is where the soap fandom has a problem. You want story, you want stuff that's gonna bring in the juice, et cetera, except you don't want it that way. But soap fans don't seem to understand. They won't be on the air if you don't bring the drama that we're all looking for.
You're right.
But it's also how you do it.
I tell you what, Dave.
Okay, wait. I want to use this to transition to General Hospital for a second.
Craig checking out Johnny's team.
No. I'm not down with him if they're going to do some kind of he's lusting after and he's going to – no. I'm not down with that. If he's appreciating and we move on to something else, I'm good with that. But if Craig suddenly is going to be obsessing and trying everything he can to get with Johnny, oh, no. But appreciating the fact Johnny's not in my league anymore either. I've passed my 45. I never, ever admit this on podcasts, but I'm going to admit it tonight. I just recently passed my 45. I'm not going to go after a Johnny. And if Johnny wants a daddy, I'm going to say, okay, you need to go talk to your own daddy. I'm not going to fulfill that role. But there's nothing. But I will tell you, I will look and say, But so let's use this though to transition to General Hospital.
Okay. Well, there have been a couple of Peter is Dead parties on Twitter Spaces.
I've got to say, thank you so much for the way the storyline did go. And Felicia, oh my God, girl, you did it. You definitely are my hero, and thank you so much. I love you, and I wish Frisco would have joined the storyline. It would have made it so much more exciting with ratings. But I can deal with Felicia being back. Thank you.
Okay, I got 3 things to say real quick. First and foremost, there's been some stuff on the Twitterverse, et cetera, et cetera. They should have just killed him. He should have just been dead with the tire iron. No. That is soapy. That is soapy. That is classic soapiness. That Anna sat there and watched him take his last breath. No, we needed that. Yeah. So that's first and foremost. That's my own personal opinion. I'm not going to tell anybody else how they should feel, but think about it for a moment.
Can I add to that, Anthony?
Go ahead, because I got 2 more points.
When I was reading, this is what I think came from the SOD. I was just reading it tonight, that the reason how they did it was it started with Anna, and it had to end with Anna.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Thank you. And we needed to see him.
That makes a lot of sense.
We needed to see him take his last breath. Because, a lot of the soap world wanted to hear, Felicia or somebody going, chop his head off. He's got to be dead. Chop his head off. Then we know he's really dead or whatever. No. We needed that dramatic moment. We needed, because this is going to juxtaposition. Mark my words. This is going to come back to haunt Anna and Maxie. We're going to hear more of this down the line. This is good storytelling. Now, my second point that I want to address, folks out there, okay, get off your horse and leave Christina Wagner alone. You loved her when you loved her. The choices that the writers made for the character should not affect the way that we feel about the way the actress. She's always been. She's been a Cupid doll. She's been the princess. She's been the cutie with a backbone, and I want to just remind folks, she also had a dalliance with Luke that was rather significant. Yeah. So yes, folks, stop saying what did Felicia have to do with Luke? Okay, go back in history and understand that Felicia and Luke, just like Felicia and Alexis, Luke and Alexis,
Scandalous.
No, they had. So she has every right. But to my initial point, her Cupid dollness is what the character is. She's not going to come back all of a sudden all kinds of different. This is who Felicia has been for 35 years. Get off your horse and let it go. And the third and final point I want to make is, here's the thing. You all wanted a whodunit, the JR storyline. I get it. Personally, there's a part of me that wanted it too. But you know what? They gave the audience what the audience needed to get beyond the Peter August portion of all this. The whodunit storyline would have just propelled what's wrong, what's been wrong in the eyes of soap fandom of General Hospital. They listened to us. They gave us what we wanted. They gave us what we wanted, except for the whodunit part. They wanted a definitive end to this cycle of madness, and they gave it to us. And just because we didn't get the whodunit part of it does not mean that the storyline coming and the continuation of the storyline is not going to be must-see TV. So that's my soapbox for tonight.
Fans are asking about Peter. If he's dead, the answer to that is yes, he is dead. But I'm loving that the storyline.
He's really most
like
sincerely dead.
This pushes us to the next level. This pushes us to the next level of where we're going to. Because don't forget, we're coming into spring, and you know that's March Madness, so anything can happen as far as for the characters to go where they're going to go with these new storyline directions. So yes, Peter's dead, but the drama will continue with the fallout.
Here's the thing. First and foremost, General Hospital, thank you for my birthday present, because it happened on my birthday and it ended the next day. So thank you. The thing is that I kept saying, if anything, because I switched it up so many times, but I kept saying, if anything should happen to Peter, Maxie needs to be there. And the reason that I kept saying that was because Peter is obsessed with Maxie Jones. That's the mother of his child, right? Mm-hmm. So then I'm like, of course, Anna would have to be there. But I didn't want her to kill him. And I think that's what a lot of fans were saying. They wanted Anna to kill Peter. I did not want that.
I saw that.
The wild card in all of this was Felicia. And I loved it. I loved the fact that Felicia, because if you've been watching General Hospital for a long time, you know the unbalanced and toxic relationship Maxie has towards Felicia Jones. If you don't, go on YouTube. There's a funeral scene that Kristen deserved a damn Emmy for, that she got robbed of a nomination. And I'm still going to say where she read Felicia for being a bad mom. In this moment alone, it may not have been like the whole, this is my sacrifice for being, to be a good mother. But in that moment, Felicia was a good mother to Maxie, because that girl because Felicia came to her daughter's aid. Yep. There we go. Came to her daughter's aid.
Yes, Felicia. Felicia got redeemed, saving her daughter. Yes, exactly.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to say.
Wait. Hold up. Following on that thought, though. Now, GH, do the right thing. Now reverse the storyline. Now have Maxie stand up for Felicia when Ryan escapes and comes, because that Felicia's a grandmother. I'm not.
And that's what I'm saying. Wrong. Like you saw. Here's the thing. This is how good. If you're a General Hospital fan, you probably saw some, certain parallels to Felicia and Ryan with Peter and Maxie, right? Okay.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yes. This is where, GH, I'm giving you your props, so please take it right now. This is one of those things where, as a writer, somebody was like, okay, Felicia did this. Did she see herself in Maxie and see Ryan and Peter and kind to do what she couldn't have done the first 1, 2, 3, 4 times? The fact that also Felicia owed it to her daughter, because there's been a lot of times Felicia has dropped the ball of being a mother to that woman, to Maxie. The fact that Maxie had to kind of sacrifice herself. If you really think about it, Maxie sacrificed herself by doing what she was doing. That's Frisco and Felicia's daughter right there, y'all. She may not always have that brilliance, but she's that girl. I was like, you're going to have Maxie there. And I love the fact that it did come full circle, because I was like, please, Anna, don't. Then I was like, please, because at first when Peter dropped the gun, I was like, that's going to be a key point. When Felicia hit him, I was like, he's going to try to get up or something, and I could see Maxie being the one to shoot, because I had a whole different scenario. I thought
so
that
did I.
You thought she was going to
wasn't going to get the job done. The gun, I could see
Peter,
Maxie
was going to have to pick up the gun and shoot him.
Right, and shoot him, and that Anna, and they're all going to protect her. I love how it played out. Right, I love how it played out. I love the fact that Anna felt all of the emotions that she did, because she felt guilty, she felt ashamed, she felt emotional. I will say this.
Exactly. And wait, Candice, let's remember something, because I think a lot of people those, and it's not real life, but we suspend our disbelief, etc. She has memories of giving birth to him. She has memories of him being her son. So even though now that it's disproved, those memories are still there. Those feelings are still there.
Those feelings are, that's why she's crying.
And she feels as though she kind of let him down in a sense. And I think that's the thing, is that when you're a parent, because this is what I actually took away from. As a parent, you see what certain events does to your children, right?
Yeah.
And like you just said, even though Anna is not his biological, she has the memories. So it's like half of her is like, did I make him into this person? What could I have done, or Alex could have done, in that situation? With Felicia, just to let you know, Maxie doesn't always make the best choices. Just saying. But, it's like, it's one of those things where you can take it as it is. At the end of the day, though, Chris Storm, Christina Wagner, Fiona Hughes, and yes, Wes Ramsey, y'all did a good job.
Y'all did an amazing job.
It was excellent.
Real quick, because we got to go to other soaps, but I have to throw this in.
And they also hit the beat. Don't forget they hit the beat because, yes, Maxie did not kill Peter. She did walk away, and kudos for Maxie for doing that. But she got her day. She told Peter,
she told him off.
Peter, you did this. You ruined everybody's lives. You did this, you did that. Maxie finally got her say. Thank you, writers. You finally got the assignment.
But she still has to live with something.
Okay,
that baby.
So I got one more thing to say about General Hospital before we go into another show.
Yeah.
I'm not team Nina and Sonny, but I like every beat of it so far. I'm sorry, I do. Everybody else can send me hate mail. Anthony31C on Twitter.
I love it.
Send me your hate mail.
I love them.
Here's the thing. The arc that changed Sonny because of Mike and the history of Sonny, I'm sorry, they're playing it to the hills. Between the medicine and now the alcohol, et cetera, based on yesterday's show, I don't know what happened today. I'm sorry I didn't get to see it. But based on yesterday's show, it seems like Nina and Sonny are going to hit the sheets again. They played it perfectly. They sat there in that room and decided what was best for their family, and they parted ways. And the character of Sonny, he has never been alone. There's always been a woman who's
There's always
take
been
up
somebody for him.
Sonny's pieces. So it's not bucking history. This is exactly what we've seen. Brenda, Lily,
Connie.
the agent. What was her name?
Sam.
The agent. Connie, Sam.
Yeah.
So they're not changing history. Sonny is who he is. He's gonna go. He's gonna leave that message. Oh, girl, I know you love Mike. That's not out of character. That's exactly who Sonny's been. Except there's that little piece of Mike that's also playing into it. I love it. You don't have to love it, but don't bash on. They haven't changed Sonny. They haven't changed him. When one woman can't give him what he needs. Even that, what's her name from Young and the Restless, Margot or whatever her name was on General Hospital. I don't even remember no more. But, when he's not getting what he needs from the primary woman, he's always had a backup woman.
He's looking elsewhere.
This is nothing new. All right, David, where are we going next?
Young.
Okay, so wait, real quick. So
Robert Newman, oh my God.
Wait a minute.
Robert Newman is still in it as Ashlyn Locke.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Let me say this. So Young and the Restless and Bold did not come on today, obviously, because of news. They are going to be shown tomorrow. They're not going to do put it on Paramount Plus or anything like that. They're going to start. So Thursday's episode will be Fridays. So they did show some encore presentations, which made me a little mad at Bold. Bold, we got to talk later. But now let's go back to Young and the Restless, a.k.a. Robert D. Newman.
Yes.
Let me, first and foremost, if anybody knows me, hi, I'm Candice. Hi, hello.
Hi, Candice.
I am a
Happy
fan
birthday
of
to you.
Thank you. And particularly with this one soap called God and Light. I don't know if y'all know about that show, but just saying. But the thing is that when Robert Newman was announced coming over, to take over from Richard, by the way, shout out to Richard Berg because you did an amazing job, and I love the fact.
Richard, we love you.
They didn't restart the storyline. They kept it going. But let me tell you about Robert Newman. I said to a lot of people, if you watched him on Gone Light, do not expect him to play Joshua Lewis, okay? He going to play a jerk. I kept telling people that. I forewarned people. Let me tell you how good some actors are. This man has not been on a soap since, 2000? I'm not. And when I say soap, I mean network because he was on Venice, season 6. Check it out. But it has been since 2009, the last day of Gone Light. So this man has been out off of a soap network for that long, right?
Almost 12
Let me
years.
tell you,
Yep.
Almost 12 years. Don't remind me. The thing is, he came in, and it usually takes some time. And I said that. I was like, don't get into it. I kept saying, the scene that I need to see is Robert Newman and Eric Braeden. Let me tell y'all something.
Yeah.
Y'all spoiled it to me. I was at work, and y'all said, somebody messaged me and said, Candice, your dream came true. I was like, what dream? What dream? I had so many dreams, right? And I came home, and I watched it, and I was like, thank you so much, Jesus. I was like, yes. He has done an amazing job of playing this Ashland to the point where I'm like, now see, I want him gone. Like, Ashley is getting on my nerves.
But the thing,
because the big
Robert
secret
Newman
came out.
And Mark, oh my God, Ashlyn and Adam is so intense. I could feel the energy right there in the room.
And then you have Ashlyn and Victoria. Girl, Victoria, I'm praying for you. I'm on your side. I'm hoping that you realize this is a play, this is an act, don't fall for it because it's desperate in love. But think like a business person and everything. When I say, okay, Young and the Restless, you and me, we've had our moments. Right. Especially when, because I was like, there's certain storylines that's just like, When I say how invested I am in this, because obviously it's the Newmans and anything with the Newmans, and then you got Michael freaking Baldwin being a boss and going, and he's like this, well, yeah, we found out some things in Peru. And then Ashley is like, who's this person that's him? Victor is Victor still. First and foremost, he's a businessman, so he's looking after his company. But then, like he tells Victoria and Adam, y'all two need to get it together because at the end of the day, you're still family. And Victoria, oh my God, this storyline is so freaking good.
I've got to say, I am loving the connection with Adam and Sally. They are my favorites. I'm enjoying them as a couple and where they're going with it because Sally is very headstrong. She's showing that she can be COO position because I love how she teases that she goes that she did used to run a company or something like that. So that was fun. I'm loving that. And I'm enjoying Jack and Phyllis's mystery. And I don't know if you've all been watching, but keep staying tuned because it will lead to Noah Newman as well coming up in March. Yep. So get ready. It's going to be exciting.
Let me say something about Adam and Sally, if I may. The show is called Young and the Restless, and they are the young couple, and I like them. However, and I'm going to speak my truth, as somebody who watched Sally on Bold and the Beautiful, what business experience does she have? Because every time she did something, she would have to go to either a Liam, a Thomas, or somebody else. When Adam made her COO of the company, I said that wasn't a professional business move. That was a high school move because you know that if you get Sally on board with you, Adam, that's going to make a certain somebody jealous, aka your ex, which it kind of did because Chelsea was like, say what I do, but like Victoria said, what kind of logic was this? Now, yeah, Sally helped, with Victoria's wedding dress, which she should be forever grateful. Adam did save, the wedding. But at the same time, Adam, it is amazing to me. You still want Daddy's approval, but you feel as though you're the big boss. And like Victoria even said too, is that Adam can do all kinds of bad things. But when he runs back to dear old daddy always let him get his way. But Victoria, you're the same way too. And that's why, see, Nick Newman, you always said something about Nick Newman. Nick Newman is the smartest person of them all. He was like this. Guess what? He's the same person. He's one way with business and another with family. He knows how to play everybody against each other. And that's why he's like this. Deuces, like, he's like, I'm out. Because Victor's using Adam, right? And he also, and that's what I'm saying, I'm hoping that Victoria does not fall flat on her face. I am hoping, because if so, I don't want it to be where she has to turn to Adam. Because I'm kind of getting sick and tired of it. Just saying. This is my opinion. And I like Adam, for those who want to know. But to me, I just feel as though if Adam is supposed to be the new man, and he kind of quote-unquote said, I don't need the Newman name, okay, you don't need the Newman name.
And Candice, you know what I'm also liking is the fact that even though it's Adam versus Victoria, I'm like you. If we could get something out of this storyline where Adam and Victoria become stronger as a sibling, the way we're getting it with Adam and Nick, I'm all for it. Because these siblings have been hating each other for years. If they could work together and come together, they could be killer. They could be a powerhouse in the business. And I think that's what Victor wants. Victor knows
what are the odds,
he
Candice?
manipulates them, but he knows what he's doing.
Like, to me, I like the rivalry. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, again, it's one of those things where, like, on One Life to Live, you had the Buchanans versus the Buchanans. On General Hospital, you had the Quartermains versus Quartermains. On Days of Our Lives, you had Victor pinning his grandkids against each other and then pick Xander, right? So to me, I like the business aspect. There is times where Victoria and Adam has come together for certain things. But the thing is that the one thing that they want is Daddy's approval. Not together, but solo. Before Adam was even a blip in the sky, Victoria was the one who kind of got the approval. She is the belle of the boardroom. She has run her own company. Has she always fallen on her face? Yes and no. Victoria had to work her way up versus Adam, who got a whole certified, degrees and everything. Thank you, Victor, on his own. So it's sort of like, okay, you want to be a Wilson, you want to still be a Newman. Like Victoria said, you can't have it both ways. If you want to, like Victor said, if you want to be a part of this family, you have to think like a Newman. And that's why Nick again said to Victor that, I will never forget that speech, you know exactly what you're doing. You're a puppet master who's playing on your family's emotional distress or something like that. That's why Abby, even though Abby's a Newman, she ain't even nowhere near this. Speaking of Abby.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I have a question for both of you because I'm confused.
We all are.
Yep. Why is Devon a perfect match?
And Abby's not?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say something. I feel that the storyline has so many rewrites. You can see it. You can see it. It is confusing because I was like everybody else. I was like, wait a minute. Is Devon the baby's daddy for real? Or did they switch results? What's going on? I get so confused as the storyline. It's like giving me whiplash. Okay, so here's where Candice tries to make logic of this. There are some cases where parents, especially biological parents, one is a perfect match all the way and one isn't. But I really was thinking, when they said all this, I was like, okay, the medical stuff is going to show that Devon is not the biological father. This is probably where they can recon and redeem Stitch a little bit. And I was all for it. I was like, yup, Stitch swapped sperm or somebody did exactly what they did back in the day with Abby's paternity, right? And I was all for it. I was like, okay. But then when they said, Devon is a perfect match, and I was like, so is it not Abby's egg? I was like, whose egg could it be? And I was like, did they confirm he's the dad? Because that's what I think I might have missed that beat. Did they confirm he is the daddy? Okay, that's what I want to make sure.
That was the whole point of them saying that he's a 100% match to that baby.
Because it is his sperm, then we're saying.
Right. So when I say that, I'm going to be honest, Young and Restless, I rapped for this storyline. I was like, I understand the beginning. When I say the beginning, I mean all the way to the beginning, like almost 2 years ago. Not even 2 years ago. When you had to do a sudden actor change and you didn't have an actor to play Chance, and it was like, okay, you're still, I understand as a writer. You know, writers have like 2-3 months of material that's already written out, and they're on a train to get all this done. So, yeah, you have to do emergency, like, rewrite edits and stuff like that. And then I kind of was like, okay, I can't defend it but much longer. I'm like, everybody wants this girl, Mariah, to fall and have a miscarriage and all that stuff. And now we're here, and it's like, okay, what's your point? However, I will say, Connor, who plays Chance, you're doing a good job with this post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm enjoying that. I will say that.
I like him.
Yeah.
I love him. He is great. Oh, my God, and I love his hair. It's so adorable.
But, yeah, I mean, that, because obviously he doesn't want, it's a whole emotional detachment. But I will say that Young and the Restless, because we got 3 minutes left. Young and the Restless, you're doing some things right, and you're still kind of doing things wrong. But I feel as though, next month is a huge month for you. And going forward, you're about to hit 50 soon. That's all I got to say. Josh and Company.
Where are we, Candice? Are we on 48?
We're 49. It'll be 49 next month.
49.
Yeah.
Oh, and I wanted to
49.
I wanted to add real quick. I am enjoying the chemistry with Chelsea and Ray. Thank you. I see where you're taking it, Ryan. Thank you.
I have some issues with that. We'll talk about that next week. Now it's Bold and the Beautiful. Yep. How dare you, Bold? Yep. How dare you? And I say it like that because.
Oh, I have a question for you, Candice.
Okay.
That one question that you tweeted out yesterday, you said, and then I answered you, and you said you're not going to say. You said you'll be able to figure it out. And something that, was it for Bold?
I can't say.
You're not going to say.
No, because you would know me better than that. Here's what I got to say about Bold. You may have heard that something's going to happen that's going to change certain things. Things will never be the same again. I will say this. I don't know nothing considering the facts, but I feel as though something isn't adding up. And you know how Bold likes to kind of trick us? Mm-hmm. I would say I'm hoping for a trick because what I'm seeing now, because Stephanie Thomas is a little desperate. Sorry, I understand the cycle of emotional, with the children and parents and divorces and all that stuff. Taylor is very desperate, and it's not a good look. Brooke, it was only, here's my thing. It was only a kiss, but I understand you did it, but you should have also told the truth. Ridge, you're trash. I already talked about that.
Yes.
You guys.
Yes.
We had a great time with Karen Spirtas tonight.
Yes.
We had a great time with Kevin. Check out After Forever, the series on Amazon Prime. Stay tuned. We're going to figure out how we can help with the next season coming up. Also, you guys, support all 4 soaps, please. Seriously.
Also, don't forget to watch Bold and the Beautiful because the major tease for y'all, Taylor has the big secret that's going to rock all of Los Angeles.
Allegedly. I'm telling you. Allegedly. But also check out Forever and a Day on all streaming services. Just access. And also check out our show on Blog Talk Radio. Just to hang out and stuff and listen to what we think about the world of soaps. Until next time, we'll see you guys. And thank you guys for all the birthday love.
Good night.
Good night.
Love you all.
Get connected with Take Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit take2radio.com.